How's it going, Airhead Militia? I just want to tune in here just real quick before the actual intro of this video and before we kick off, and just give you guys a preemptive warning that this is going to be a video where I just rant and rave and bitch and complain. So, for the next like 40 odd minutes, expect a lot of me just kind of bitching and complaining, just being real with you guys, as simply I've felt like I've not really been doing that until as of late with the podcast, but I want to be a little bit more just kind of raw and real with you guys. So, yeah, buckle in, grab a snack, all that. And yeah, if you're new, make sure you subscribe. And yeah, I would ask you guys to like, but I'm not going to do that. Get through this video at least, and if you end up liking this, then at that point leave a like, because yeah, it's gonna be a rough one. But yeah, let's get you guys into the regularly scheduled video. What is going on, Arrowhead Militia? Welcome to the creek. We are in Grand Branch, right? Yes, Grand Branch. Sorry, I had to actually make sure. I've been doing a lot the last few days, recording, doing podcasts and all that, and decided that we'd start this video early. It's exactly 4 o'clock in the morning when I am recording this, so probably be about more than likely 4:35 by the time I get done with this recording. But yeah, I wanted to do something a little bit different than what I've been doing. That, of course, being a lot of um, Grand Branch. So these guys are trained. There's 29. I meant to put 30, but I'm pretty sure there's only 29. Well, 28 now of these guys, but or sorry, not trained. They're experienced. Ooh, sorry, hiccups. But they're experienced. Sorry, not just trained. So yeah, I've been actually meaning to record a video of Grand Branch for the last few days, and I actually did make one last night before I did the podcast and all that, just simply because, well, I've been wanting to do some Grand Branch content, but yeah, I ended up being very podcasty, the video on Grand Branch, so I ended up uh, just doing the podcast, and then you ended up getting that video instead. So I do have some content of Ground Branch, but more than likely I am gonna end up kind of scrapping it, because like I said, it turned into kind of a podcast. I did about half an hour on the game, and then I started rambling off, which I'd already been rambling basically the whole video. But yeah, I just want to kind of use this as another, you know, kind of ramble session. Just simply because the last few days have been kind of insane for me. Uh, my whole experience here on YouTube and what I've been doing for years has basically come to an end, and we're changing gears, and I am actually really enjoying what, God, I don't know why I didn't engage the person closer, but I'm actually really enjoying what I am doing on this channel. Of course, being first person shooters through Armor Reforger here on Ground Branch and all that, with the additional um, videos of, the podcast and that kind of stuff. And I'm coming in here to change my sights off. I actually have a pretty interesting sight right here. This Elko plus Devo. I like this Elko. Basically, it's this Elko that I'm using right now, but it also has, it's very odd, as you guys can tell here. But I'm gonna fit that kind of like that, save us a new. And you guys, when I go into the testing range, will find out that, or notice really quickly that this sight is kind of interesting. It's a hybrid sight. If I were to grab the right one, it's a hybrid scope. So you have your normal red dot up, of course, up top, which is what I'm using for engaging at this range. But if you look down on top of your upper, you have a magnified scope as well. So kind of a neat little deal, and it's actually fairly compact, or at least in my opinion, because of course you have stuff like that. I don't want to get rid of that. But you also have sites like, your ACOG. And then, of course, with your ACOG, you're going to have to put something up top. Like, I guess not the Elko. Darn. But scroll down here and you'll see stuff like this. So you could put stuff like that on top of it. And actually, I didn't realize I had other... Hold on. Let me see what these are like. Because I forgot I added more stuff. Okay, so that's a little bit of a... just a normal holographic. So, just chunky hollow. We can get rid of that guy because I won't be using that. But yeah, no, it's just kind of a neat little hybrid, which I am going to be using on Creek here pretty effectively, hopefully. But yeah, let's spawn rocks and we'll continue the talking about how, my life has been changing over the last few days, or even just the last few weeks. After, of course, I did the change here on YouTube. But I've noticed, or I'm gonna say a lot of you have noticed, that I've not been doing a lot of content over on Twitch. It's not that I gave up on Twitch, it's just finding balance here on YouTube has been taking a little bit longer than I anticipated, so I sadly have just kind of taken a break from Twitch. I do plan on getting back active on Twitch here within the next few... Jesus, okay. I'm over here trying to think about how I want to word this. I didn't even hear the guy shooting at me. Okay, maybe the rocks are not a good spawn point. But yeah, I've just, with trying to schedule and get a schedule that I like for YouTube without then having to turn and burn over on Twitch doing streams and that kind of stuff, I've just decided that it'd be better for me mentally to be able to focus on one thing at once, and that, of course, being YouTube, which in my opinion needed the most work. Simply, my Twitch channel, I felt, was doing really well just on its own. So YouTube, on the other hand, I did not feel was doing as well, and it needed some love and attention. Drop that guy. So, yeah, as you guys can tell there, this scope and this hybrid holographic sight and your zoomed scope, I guess, a sight and scope combo is pretty neat. This is where I kind of wish I had an eye tracker per se, so for stuff like these games where I'm not, you know, being too serious and I'm just kind of having fun. You guys would be able to tell kind of what my eyes are doing versus what your guys' eyes might do. There he is. But yeah, no, it's just kind of. Nope. Okay. I don't like this. There's way too many guns over here looking at me. But yeah, no, I just, like I said, decided that I would kind of change gears, focus a little bit more on YouTube, as for a while there I wasn't doing really too much stuff for YouTube. So decided that I'd give a little bit of focus here to YouTube for a few days while I tried to figure out what was next for this channel. And for the most part, it looks like you guys are taking really well with the changes. I was really worried that the changes to the channels was not going to be well liked, and granted, still not doing necessarily as good as, you know, Saf did on my channel. I kind of expected it because it's super new. I've been doing the roleplay content for so long. That was just what my brick and mortar was for this channel, and well, I am tearing that brick and mortar down because I personally felt like I'd overdone it, and honestly just kind of got to the point where I felt like I needed to do something else with the channel before I burnt myself out of wanting to do content. And slowly but surely I was actually getting to the point where I didn't want to record. I didn't necessarily even want to really get on and game. It was getting to the point where it was really bad, or I was in a very bad mental positioning. So, of course, not nearly as bad of a mental area. These guys I'm shooting at, because they're freaking out right now. But yeah, no, this change gave me a lot of freedom to do what I like doing. That is, of course, first-person shooters. Where, again, I just was not enjoying 5M and GTA 5 as much as I did when I first started uploading that kind of content, which originally when I started YouTube, I told myself the moment I stopped enjoying what I do is when I'm going to quit. And I enjoy gaming. I enjoy being kind of a variety YouTube creator, but I don't really do a variety mixture when it comes to gaming. I tend to fall into a lot of first-person shooters or kind of war games just in general. And so with my mind going to the position where I felt like I was gonna quit because I was not enjoying the content creation, I decided that I had to change before I threw my channel away that I worked so hard on over the last few years. And so the funniest thing is me starting Twitch was actually kind of the deal breaker when it came to my YouTube, because on Twitch I was just kind of doing whatever I felt like playing, and it was very freeing because it's like I wasn't caring about statistics, I wasn't caring about numbers, I was just on having fun. And it was something that I've not done for YouTube in a long time. I got into a position where I cared more about posting videos that I thought would do well, and then they just wouldn't. And it killed me. It absolutely killed my motivation to continue. God damn, I could not see that motherfucker. But yeah, no, it just got to the point where I felt like I was going in circles. I wasn't happy with what I was doing, and so I knew at that point I had to do something else to continue here on YouTube. And changing over to what we're doing now here has honestly been the best idea I've had for a long time. Granted, of course, within the last few years, of course, I've done, of course, my, um, why did that not work? But we've done a lot of stuff between, of course, going and starting DCRP or Dreamcatcher's Roleplay and all that, which, don't get me wrong, was absolutely awesome to do. It just got to the point where it was just something I felt like I had to be on, and I had to pressure and like get onto people and be like, hey, I need people to get on, and it just kind of killed it. So being in a position where I don't necessarily have to be like, hey, you know, I want people to get on, this is not the map I wanted. Son of a bitch. What is the map? Well, it's city. Sorry. I just want city. But sorry about that. I'm gonna not cut this up too much, just simply because I want you guys to get more of a raw feeling, especially now that we're changing over. So these kind of videos are gonna be a little bit more raw. You guys are gonna just kind of be here with me. And it's not that I don't like doing the fancy editing. I'll still do the editing and all that stuff that I've been doing. It's just that I am going to be doing those on videos that, not that they matter more to me, it's just videos that I want to look better. Of course, those being stuff like my operations with the 535th or the task force that I'm with on Reforger. As doing those videos and making them look really nice is what makes me happy, and that's what I want to do. So I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna start doing the content that I want to do, not the content that I feel like I have to do. Damn, I dropped him. I can't tell if that bottom scope is exactly on or not. But it's good enough where I can make it work. Anyone else moving around? Anyone else want to get boogie with it? I could have actually turned the number of people up just a little bit more on this map. I forget how big the city is. But at that point, it's like, do I really want to be chasing 8,000 people around the city? Because that in itself can get tedious. I had to have just dropped that motherfucker. God damn. That was a good shot. If I were to say so myself. Yeah, that scope is on good enough. Especially at distance like this. God dang. Okay, cool. Dead. But yeah, no, it was about time. Like I said, I'm gonna be really raw with you guys. I'm gonna not sugarcoat a lot of shit. Just simply because back in 5M and when I was focusing on 5M, I had to sugarcoat a lot of my feelings just so whatever server I was in looked good and looked appealing for you guys to try to get you guys to join. SAF, PGN, that kind of stuff. Their recording policies were really strict. You had to not talk negative about the fucking server. You had to sugarcoat a lot of shit. DCRP, like, you guys know, every server has issues. Of course, DCRP has major issues, and that is, of course, the server not really being as stable as you would like for people to be on and fucking around. But it's also being ran by two people that have never ran and done dev work for a server in that capacity. So it is just kind of what it is. And of course, we got fucking started super late. So it was not a great deal for DCRP, which is why it's not growing. Which in itself fucking sucks because it's my server and I'm not gonna sit here going, oh my god, DCRP is the best server out there, just simply because it's not. It's just simple as that. It's not the best server out there. There are other servers out there that are better than DCRP. What we hold as a standard is what other servers may not hold as their standard, and that's fine. We, of course, focus on actual story development and not calls for our LEO and that kind of shit, which, of course, doesn't drive a lot of 911 calls, which makes LEO boring, but it's also because we don't have the amount of players that, you know, could be a nice balance between more passive roleplay and those that just kind of go a little bit more crazy. And we're limiting a lot of roleplay right now when it comes to a lot of 911 calls because we don't have the police force. So we've tried to find a balance, and I can tell that the balance that we are trying to find isn't going to make people happy, which that's going to just have to be what it is. We can't make everybody happy, and I'm not here to try to make everybody happy as an owner of the server. Granted, yes, if I could make the majority of our role play or our people in the role play scene happy, then absolutely I'll do my best to try my damnedest to make everybody content with what's going on in the server. But right now we've had to shut down 5P or not 5PD, but well, we had to get rid of 5PD just simply because it wasn't working very well, and we lost our fire department because of some bullshit going on. So there's just a lot of shit that you gotta be able to balance as an owner and as a developer within the server. And it's a lot more work than two people should have on their plate, on top of having to run their own departments. Like myself with state, and of course, I ended up taking the FD over because it got to the point where Hannah was so overwhelmed that it was just better that I took the FD over. But that also added more onto my plate because I had another community or another department that I had to run. So it just got overbearing for us, and it burnt us out. It killed our drive to continue the server, and it shows to other people because we're not as around in that community as we used to be, because there were weeks where every single day I was thinking about DCRP, how we could advance DCRP into the next level. But it got to the point where I got tired. I got tired of trying to answer 50 questions a day from 8 people and trying to please them with, you know, vehicles not working, skins not working, skins not matching. It got to the point where I just gave up trying to make everybody happy. And it kills me as an owner because I want my heads to be happy, but I wasn't going to sit there and let my heads spend $80,000 trying to get something that looked right in their mind when we have stuff in that was working. And so we just had to go with it. And the only reason I really kind of put my foot down to my heads was just simply we aren't growing, so it didn't make sense to me to have my heads spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars onto their department when we grew like 1 or 2 person a month, if even that sometimes. So it just got to the point where we were throwing money into hopes and dreams, and I couldn't stand and watch it anymore, which kind of rubbed some people the wrong way. And at the point where we're at the point where it's like I really don't care if I rub people the wrong way because I'm trying to prevent them from spending money on something that may not come to fruition, and that being DCRP as a 5M server. That and just time. Time is an essence that we do not control, and sadly, a lot of us have more time on our plate than others. Of course, a lot of you guys know that I basically do content for a living. Not a great living, but it is something that I do because I have a fuck ton of time on my plate because I don't work a real job. Unlike Hannah. So it's like, I got a fuck ton of time, so I can always be around. But it doesn't mean that Hannah can, and as our lead developer, it was kind of an issue. So it is just kind of one of those things where we kind of hit a brick wall and we all kind of individually kind of threw our hands up and said to ourselves, I'm going to back up. I'm going to revisualize what we're doing and we'll come at it again another way around. And I was talking to one of the DCRP members and I'm like, hey, you know, I'm not going to sugarcoat it and I'm not going to sugarcoat it to you guys, but more than likely this last attempt, last hurrah at DCRP is sadly going to be more than likely the final attempt at trying to get DCRP back up and running, because a lot of us, myself included, are losing the motivation to try again and have to step away and then try it again a month or two later. And especially where I was only doing 5M content, it was screwing my my workflow up, because if I couldn't get people on to record, that was a video I wasn't able to record to be able to post to you guys. So even though it didn't affect those guys, it was just, oh, cool. Patrol's canceled today. For me, patrol being canceled was detrimental because I didn't have anything recorded. Oh my god. I'm under fire! I got very pissed off people down there. So, yeah, and it just, to me, felt like I was the only one that really gave a fuck if we were able to get on to patrol or not. Because at the end of the day, it's like, I was realistically one of the very few people that had anything writing on it. And that was my whole ass fucking YouTube career at that point. Because, again, 5M was the only thing I was doing. I didn't have a fallback plan at that point, and realistically, I still don't have a fallback plan on, say, you know, Armory Forger for some reason gets shut down. Like, yeah, I could swap over to games like this, Hell Let Loose, and that kind of stuff, but even then, you know, what's the backup plan then? And that's just kind of the issue about content creation, is you always have to have not only one backup plan, but you gotta have 2, 3, 4 backup plans, and I don't do that very well. And I don't do this game very well either, apparently. Let me swap this just around a little bit, because I want just the streets. I don't want to have to go down into the bullshit down below. City, streets. Cool. But, yeah, no, I'm not trying to speak illy on, you know, Moss, or, sorry, not Moss, but Jones, you know, Liam, all those guys. Of course, they all have their personal fucking shit that they gotta do as well. And I'm in the same place. I got my own fucking life that I gotta live. But I'm just speaking on what I was feeling during the time that we were doing, of course, DCRP as something where, you know, we were trying to get it up and running and been doing for months at that, or at this point. I don't know if that's gonna work. So, yeah, I'm just gonna, like I said, say what I feel, and if people don't like it, then they can come and talk with me, but that's how I felt. Was I was the only one that gave a active fuck about the community that we were trying to get up and running. I mean, I'm the one person that was actively chasing people and was trying to get people to get on server, or trying to herd cats, basically, is what it felt like, because I was the one trying my damnedest to get it to work. And that in itself kind of killed my motivation, because I knew that if I stopped trying to reach out to people, then they just simply weren't going to show up on patrol times. And it's not that we have a different patrol time each day, it's the same patrol time every single day. It's just if basically I felt like if I didn't put a notification out or something, then people just weren't going to show up. And I'm at the point in my life, it's like, if you want to show up for a patrol, you know what time it is. I'm not going to babysit you, but I'm also not going to just sit there and let 2-3 weeks go by before anyone shows up besides like 2 of us. So I feel like I was actively having to police people to try to get people on, or at least have an understanding of why, because people wouldn't put LOA forms in, or, you know, have the decency of being able to reach out beforehand saying, hey, you know, I am having a off day. And I mean, I don't give a fuck what's going on. You could legitimately come up to me and be like, hey, you know, I don't feel great today, kind of having an off day mentally, and I'm not gonna pressure you. I'm not gonna fucking ask any more questions. I'll just tell you, hey, hope you feel better tomorrow, and if you do, perfect. If you don't, I apologize. And that's gonna be the end of that fucking conversation. I'm not gonna invade your fucking privacy. I'm not gonna ask you 21 fucking questions. I'm not gonna have you figure out what kind of fucking dog I'm thinking of. Like, I don't give a fuck. But I do give a fuck when people don't communicate with me. And that's a huge fucking thing for me. And especially for you guys that know, I was going into the Marine Corps. And that's a big thing when it comes to fucking anything. Relationships especially, is fucking communication. And yeah, no, it just got to the point where there were no communication. There's some bullshit that was going on between the owner's staff, where, you know, I was at Hannah's throat, which in turn kind of made me feel like I was kind of on my own, because I was catching her in fucking lies about shit. And I got to the point where I said, fuck it, I'm not dealing with this bullshit anymore. I'm fucking done. And so I quit giving a fuck. And the moment I stopped giving a fuck about DCRP, it basically closed its own doors. And it's fucking sad to think about it, but it's true. And it really, really irritates me, because as I was telling everybody, we just got the fucking server where we could get on and fuck around on the server and not really worry about the server for some reason crashing or potato. It was working. And then, yeah, I fucking gave up trying to fucking police people to make sure people were getting on, because they couldn't police themselves. So, yeah, just fucking shitty experience. And fucking hell, how'd you miss me, dude? You had me right for fucking dead. But yeah, no, I know this video, you know, it's turning into just a snooze fest and just me bitching and complaining, but honestly, I feel like it was time to get the air clear. The real reasoning behind the change here on YouTube, on Twitch, and it's just simply because I needed to, for my mental health to change. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to have, you know, Hannah, Liam, those guys on my channel. It just might be other games, not 5M. It might be this game or, you know, Reforger. I mean, Farming Sim even could potentially be kind of a game that is kind of one of the very few non-military games that we play because we all have it. Or, oh, yeah, no, we all have it. So, and it's actually a game that I quite enjoy playing just on the off hand that, you know, I'm not feeling military. So, that's always an option for us to do, and we don't do it. Where are you going, sir? Okay. He hiding. Can I go through this door? Looks like I can. Yes, I can. Ooh, light switch. Power box. Light switch? The fuck? Hello? Anyone? I don't hear anyone. I'm gonna say this is clear. No, I can't. I can't go up that. But yeah, no, I don't want to make this a 80-hour video. So, more than likely I'm gonna run Jesus Sniper. We might run this out, and whenever I die, hopefully not soon, but whenever we die here, we'll end this off. But again, I hope that it ain't gonna be soon. Oh shit. Oh, gun went click. Oh god. Oh, that was, as I have been liking to say as of late, spookalicious. Not sure where that sniper is, but he kind of understands where I'm at. So we're gonna go this way. We're gonna never mind. Lose that gun battle. But anyway, guys, like I said, that's gonna be it. Oh my god, that accuracy rating is fucking glorious. But yeah. Anyway, with that being said, like, I do appreciate you guys for hanging in here with me, listening to me rant, rave, bitch, complain. But anyway, do me a favor, lads. Love yourself. Love others. Also, make sure you're liking, commenting, sharing with your friends, and if you're new, subscribing. You guys, I'll see y'all when I see you next time.